Torquay, that was the major hot spot here in the valley, was over there in Ahwatukee. And that's where it was like a major populated city there. And it's also, nowadays in 2000, I don't know when they put that power plant, but a power plant sits there today. And in 2004, I saw the lights doing neat formations right over that power plant there. And in studying this power plant is bored down into this fault line of South Mountain, which creates energy so we can turn on our lights and stuff. And when that power plant is active, it acts like a intergalactic gas station for these things, man. These things just pop up over this power plant. So is this a coincidence that, I'm seeing the lights above the power plant, where the power plant was sitting right in the major populated area of Phoenix, Arizona at that time for the Hohokams? You see, so I believe that they lived right under these things. Now, living in Glendale, holy cow, Kevin, I got some major light orbs going on over there in Glendale, and it just so happens there was a major, there was some cities over there. There were once at one time were some ruins over there in that area too.
For people who are not familiar with the Phoenix metro area, let me explain. He mentioned Ahwatukee. Ahwatukee is an area, part of Phoenix, that's on the southeast side of the county, and it's on the east side of South Mountain. Okay, now Glendale is on the west side, and sort of a little north and west. I'm in the part of the Phoenix metro area known as Mesa, and Mesa is on the east side of Phoenix, and right here in Mesa there are Hohokam ruins that have been preserved in a little park right near the hospital. Okay, I'm going to open up the telephone lines because I know there are people who have questions or comments about all of this. And so the telephone number, ladies and gentlemen, the main number here in the studio is 623-444-5889. The toll-free number is 888-223-4599. If you live outside of the USA and you live outside of Canada, you can send me a flash message, and you do that by going to my website. Scroll down, you'll see the link that says flash message, and you can use that. All right, caller, you're live on the Kevin Smith Show. Your first name and from where are you calling?
Good evening, Kevin and Jeff. This is Terry from Ohio.
Hi, Terry.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi, Jeff. Yeah, I like your site a lot. There's quite a lot of interesting things on there. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I was just wondering, you talk about all these different entities. They come out of the same place, but they are not necessarily friendly to one another.
That's Mountain. A good question. That's a very good question. A colleague of mine was, we were discussing this very thing the other day. I think me and Kevin, we were talking about the forces of good and the forces of evil earlier, and I really do think that, these creatures with the four arms, I mean, sure, they could morph also. They could look like a white dot in the sky and then come down and turn themselves into a human or whatever to look like a human anyway. So what I'm starting to think, this is my own opinion because this is what I've seen. All right, now one day I saw the mountain release at least 4 or 5 of these creatures, and 2 of them were these white orbs, and 3 of them were black serpents, black snakes that kind of look like fish. And sometimes they look like reptilian or like a serpent or whatnot. They were black. But these white orbs, it just seemed to be, watching what the other black serpents were doing. And this one black serpent, I mean, as all of them were going up into the sky, except for one. The one black serpent, he didn't want to leave. He wanted to stick around. He was taken off towards the southeast, towards Ahwatukee a little bit. And this white one cruises across his head, all right? And you can actually see it in the video there. It's called Serpent and the Orbs. It's on my website, petroglyphsinthesky.com. And you can see what I'm talking about. This white orb flies over his head, and he seems to look at the white orb and then look back at the white orb. Later on in that sighting, all right, this black serpent, he's moving up towards that white orb. Now, the white orb is not moving, okay? Now, this serpent is going up to this white orb, and then the serpent starts to move to the white orb's left. And if you look real closely, you can see it looks like a line or a tube, and it looks like the white orb is shooting a metal tube or something at this black serpent. And when that happens, the serpent moves away from the white orb and moves down and goes way down and then moves into position under the white orb. And the next thing I know, I've got a black serpent, a white orb, a black serpent, and another white orb, all in a line of formation. Now, studying that sighting, watching what had just happened right now, it seemed to me that the white orb was putting the black orb in place, you know, in check, was putting that serpent in check. You see?
Yeah.
That's my only interpretation. So, and we were trying to distinguish. Well, maybe, you know, the white ones are the good ones, and then, you know, maybe these black orbs that we're seeing are the bad ones. It's just really hard to tell right now. So, I think we're dealing with two different types of entities here. You know, so.
Mm-hmm. I find it interesting, you know, like, you know, in history, you know, we have, you know, the snake, you know, and there is talk about, you know, serpents, and or reptilians and stuff, you know, as far as evil in our religion. But as far as these other entities, you know, as far as I know, we don't have any other literature or anything on it except for stuff written on walls, you know, and the stories from Indians.
Right.
And
yeah. All this information, all the way down to, I mean, please forgive me, but all the way down to like the Catholic Church. I mean, a lot of stuff has been misled, misinterpreted, and corrupted. You know, I mean, we should know about this right now. In my opinion, this is the biggest conspiracy of the world, is that these things are real and that the Indians, they know what they're talking about, and we should not take them and just say that they're just, you know, on peyote or something, and this is just a myth, that they're just making all these crazy things up. This, in my opinion, because I've seen it, is real. It's true. You know, this is not a myth. What's going on here is happening all over the world, and I think it's only a matter of time. You know what? 2010. Hold on to your hats, folks, man. 2010 is we are going to see a lot of UFOs, and I think the government might have to come into play on this and explain what's about to happen. But according to some of these prophecies, like the Mayan calendar, 2010 is going to be a hot spot for UFOs, and I think there won't be a shadow of a doubt that we have been visited by something.
Terry,
I've been really interested in, you know, reptilians and stuff, you know, just because of the religious aspect, you know, are they really real, and, you know, are they good or bad, you know, and I've been trying to, you know, research everything I can find about them, you know, on that.
Well, Terry, let me interject something, because, you know, what you're talking about is what religion has taught us about, you know, the various extraterrestrials, and there's very little, as you say. We've heard about this reptilian race, but from religion. But you're right. Religion hasn't said much about it, but the Bible does. That's
correct.
Okay. Mm-hmm. For instance, there are two races of extraterrestrials specifically named in the Bible. Okay. Well, there's more, but there's two I'm going to talk about: the cherubim and the seraphim. All right, the cherubim, they are the ones that were, two of them were placed at the gate of the Garden of Eden with flaming swords that flashed in every direction to make sure that Adam and Eve did not go back in. All right, we'll forget about them for a minute. They certainly